So right now you're stuck at those common intermediate numbers in the gym. You're close to a 3-plate squat, a 2-plate bench press, and maybe a 4-plate deadlift. And those numbers are okay, sure. But if you clicked on this video and you're watching, you are not satisfied with being average. You're not comparing yourself to the average guy in the gym who goes in without a plan. He barely tracks his food. He is very, very weak. You're not comparing yourself to people like that. You are putting all these hours into the gym because you want to stand out. You want to be exceptional. And I used to be in the same position as yourself a few years ago. After I've learned some of the things I'm going to share with you in this video, I'm now able to squat almost 250 kilos, bench press 160 kilos, deadlift 300 kilos, which a lot of people would consider pretty good for a natural at 200 pounds or thereabouts with visible abs. I'm one of the strongest guys in most commercial gyms that I go to, and I feel much better about my training and far more confident. And if I would have known some of the things I'm going to share with you, I could have got there in half of the time with half of the work. So I am literally going to show you step by step how to get past these 3-plate squat, 2-plate bench, 4-plate deadlift, and stop being a lifetime intermediate so that you can actually get really, really strong. And if you want me to just personally do it for you, click the link in the description. You can hire me as your coach and I'll help you one-to-one, okay? So let's get into the fixes. So first things first, let's quickly discuss the problem that you are having right now. All intermediate guys face these same problems. I do calls with guys like you every single week and we go over the problems that are holding them back from being as strong as they would like to be. So right now you probably follow a generic intermediate training program like Wendler 531, Texas Method, 5x5, GZCL, Candito's program, one of these generic type programs that you found on Reddit or something. Or you've got to the point where those programs have stopped working, so now you're writing your own program and just taking various pieces from all these different programs, but it's still not really working out. You probably overthink everything. You watch a bunch of different fitness creators, change your mind every day. Every time you see a guy on YouTube doing something, you think, I should be doing that, and you change your program. Your approach to getting stronger is pretty much you just try and force weight on the bar every single week. You just add 5 pounds every single week until you fall off a cliff, take a deload, rinse and repeat, but you never really get any stronger. Your program probably has you doing way too many hard sets, near failure, grinding really heavy weights. You probably only train the squat, bench, and deadlift a couple times a week, like maybe once or twice. They don't feel that skilled or proficient because you don't do them enough. And then you just throw in a bunch of lazily programmed accessory lifts in the hopes that they get you jacked, but it doesn't really work. Now, this approach clearly has not been working. You are not happy with your results, otherwise you would not be watching this video. And like I said at the start, you are probably stuck around those kind of average intermediate numbers, and you probably feel like the results you're getting aren't really worth all the time you're putting into the gym. I felt exactly the same for many, many years. You can see on screen, I'm not joking when I say I failed a 2-plate bench press about 10 times before I finally hit it because I was just training like an idiot. This was my physique after a few years of this type of training, after listening to people like Mark Ripito tell me that I had to gain a bunch of weight to get strong. After doing these low volume strength training programs, I looked like complete shit, and you might not be happy with your physique now either. So how do we fix it? Fix number one is the programming. This is the biggest thing that we need to fix right off the bat, okay? We need to get you off those generic intermediate training programs. You are not going to get really, really strong on 531, Texas Method, 5x5, or one of these generic programs, okay? And there's always going to be the odd random guy who says, oh, well, I got strong on those programs. They are the genetic outlier. They are the exception to the norm. If these programs got guys really, really strong, the term lifetime intermediate wouldn't exist because everyone would be strong on these programs. The reason you are not getting strong right now is not because you're not trying hard enough, not because you're not consistent enough. It's because the training program you are running, designed for intermediates, is shit. Okay? That's the simple fact of it. If you ask any super strong guy, or 95% of really strong guys who compete in powerlifting, strongman or something, how they got there, none of them are going to tell you with 5x5 or 531, okay? So we need to fix that straight away. So we need to get you on an individualized training program. Fastest way to do this is with a coach, but if you want to do it yourself, then we just need to go through a process of individualization. The fastest way that you can do it, and I'll just tell you step by step here quickly so you can do it yourself, is to write yourself 1 week of training based on everything you know about yourself. Takes a little bit of experimentation, but try and just put together 1 week of ideal training for the squat, the bench press, and the deadlift. Once you've got one good week of training, literally just run it and don't change anything, okay? So just run that microcycle, that 1 week of training, keep running it with no changes until you see 2 downtrends in performance. Now, what I mean by that is you're going to do week 1, and each week you're going to try and add weight to the bar, okay, on the heaviest top sets that you do. Once you can no longer add weight for 2 weeks in a row, you are then going to start a new block. We're going to start each block light, we're going to end them heavy, and then the blocks are going to piece together like this. So you might start block 1 with 225 pounds and end with 265 pounds. You might start the next block at 230 pounds and end at 265 pounds. And you can see how they gradually stack on top of each other. I've got other videos where I go into a bit more detail on that, but that's kind of the general principle, that we write 1 week of training, we don't make changes, we build up a block that works, and then we're going to build the block around our individual response rather than just jumping into like a 6-week program, a 10-week program, and just following it start to finish. We do it the opposite way, bottom-up programming, okay? Now, the foundation of this bottom-up programming, I use a top set, back-off approach for the strength work. So for the squat, the bench, and the deadlift, the way that you probably do things right now, you just do hard straight sets. So you probably do a 5x5 at like 80%, right? Beats you up, it's really tough, and because of that, you can only do it once, maybe twice a week maximum. Instead of that, we're going to break that down. So instead of 5 hard sets, we do 1 hard set that's heavy. It's skill practice. It's like a top set of 3, 2, or 1 to get exposure to heavy weights close to your max. And then we're going to do the rest of the volume at lighter weights, between 60 and 75% for sets of 3 to 6 reps. We get our heavy work, then we get a dose of stimulus that gets us stronger without beating us up, so we can train the main lifts frequently, okay? And you'll see here, capital letters, stop training to failure. Just literally squat, bench, and deadlift, just never go to failure, ever. Like, there's no reason to at all. Yes, training to failure comes with a really high degree of stimulus, but it comes with an even higher fatigue cost. It takes time to recover from, it's just not worth the squeeze. So if you just leave a bit in the tank, leave some reps in reserve, you'll be able to do far more productive training for more of the year, won't need to deload, you won't have aches and pains, and you can get stronger, okay? Now, the next fix, and a lot of guys mess this one up, if my mouse is going to work, is nutrition. Now, I'll be honest, like I said, I do about 20 or 25 calls per week with intermediate guys just like yourself. On average, 95% of the time, their nutrition is completely dog shit. The average guy who comes to me on these calls, they eat like a typical out-of-shape, overweight guy who doesn't even train. They usually just eat a bunch of processed foods. They order out for every single one of their meals. They don't track their food at all. They don't do cuts and bulks. They just kind of maintain, or they look in the mirror and they kind of like gain weight for a couple weeks. Then they lose weight for a couple weeks. And over the course of a year, they just look exactly the same. They don't maximize fat loss. They don't maximize muscle gain because they never lock in a cut or a bulk. So the first thing you need to do, you need to take some measurements. You need to do an assessment. Measure your waist around the belly button. If your waist is 37 inches around the belly button or above, you need to do a cut. If your waist is below 37 inches, like wow below, maybe it's like 30, 31, 32, 33 inches, do a bulk if you want to get bigger and stronger. Now, to lock in these cuts or these bulks, if you're going to cut first, cut until you are as lean as you can possibly get without losing strength. For most guys, it's around 10 to 12% body fat. You can measure your body fat using the Navy method online. If you are doing a bulk, aim for slow weight gain. Aim for about half a kilo to a kilo of gain per month, so about 1 or 2 pounds. No faster. If you do it any faster, the excess is going to be fat. It's not going to be muscle. You can't force feed muscle gain. So take measurements, decide if you're going to do a cut or a bulk, then commit to that cut or a bulk. Lock it in, have a very specific endpoint, a very specific time frame. Don't just like randomly do it like, oh, I'm going to do a cut until I feel good. Like, have specific endpoints on it. I am cutting until I am 10%, until my waist is 32 inches, for example, because then you will do it with so much more intent. You won't waste a bunch of time, and you will actually change how your physique looks and perform better in the gym. Now, finally, food quality. A lot of you guys need to improve this massively. You're eating a bunch of processed shit all the time, eating out. Like, a lot of the guys I coach, they don't even eat any fruits or vegetables, and they cope and say, oh, I don't really like how they taste. Like, you're a full-grown man. It doesn't matter how they taste. You need to eat fruits, vegetables, and high-quality food if you want to perform well, look good, if you want to live long as well, like you want to live a long life and keep getting strong because you can train for decades, so you need to eat lots of whole foods. Like meals like this is so simple. This is just eggs, an egg omelet, loads of fruit, ground beef. Like, doesn't need to be complicated. You just need to eat mostly whole, minimally processed foods that don't have a bunch of preservatives, additives, and long list of ingredients, and you're going to be fine. For supplements, stop wasting your money on testosterone and all this bullshit. Whey protein, caffeine, creatine monohydrate, that's all you need. Use whey protein if you need it to hit your protein target. Creatine, 5 grams a day. You can even go as high as 10 grams now, to be honest. And then caffeine to fuel performance. And if you're me, you just have caffeine like every hour, basically. I would not recommend. That's not medical advice. Now, fix number 3 is your mindset and discipline. And I've got a couple videos on this, but you cannot be physically strong if mentally you are weak and you do not have your shit together outside of the gym. What I mean by that is you need to get your mental health in check. And I got a full video on this. I'm going to put a sticker on it on screen, but you need to do things to improve your mental health. The big 3 that I would recommend, I've got a video coming out on this, is to have a plan for your life, like direction with goals for your career, for relationships, stuff like that. And I'll show you exactly how to do it in that video. Then you need a daily schedule. You can't just wake up and randomly go about your day, like waking up at random times. Like a lot of guys will just wake up and they have no direction to their day. They just wake up and they're like, maybe I'll do this today. Maybe I'll smoke weed, or maybe I don't know what you guys are doing, but get a daily schedule in place. Decide what an ideal day in your life would look like, and then just plan it out on like a timetable and go follow it. You don't need to act like a robot and follow it really strict, but at least have some kind of structure you follow, because the better your mental health is, the better you feel, the more productively you can train, the better you can recover, the better you can eat, the better you sleep. So you need to fix your mind first before you think about getting strong, okay? The last one is this daily checklist. So once you've got the plan and you've got this schedule, decide on the daily actions, like the highest leverage tasks that are going to move you towards your goals, right? And best support your training. So for me, it's uploading these YouTube videos, it's replying to clients, training, hitting my macros, sleeping on time. Decide on 5 actions that you can do every single day that are going to best support your mental health. They're going to keep you mentally strong so that they can support your physical training in the gym. If you take one thing from this video, you really need to be mentally strong if you want to be physically strong, because a lot of guys don't realize the like psychopathic level of consistency it takes to get exceptionally strong. And in order to facilitate that, you need to be in a good place mentally and have your life together, okay? Fix number 4 is your environment. So too many of you guys are training in like shitty commercial gyms. You're training around guys who are weak, who are really negative, who complain all the time. You'll see them in the comments of these videos all the time. Guys will be like, oh, what's this guy talking about? Like, doesn't he know only 1% of gym goers can bench like 225? Like, why are you comparing yourself to the lowest caliber of man, the out of shape, weak guys who go to the gym? It would be like guys who are trying to make money comparing their finances to the homeless guy on the street outside. Like, why are you comparing yourself to those guys? If you're watching these kind of videos, if you're doing research, if you care about your quality of life as a man, stop comparing yourself to the average out of shape, obese, overweight guy. Compare yourself to like good guys that you want to be like top, like physically developed guys who are really strong, who are in good shape, because that's where you want to get to. You don't want to be the average. You won't be watching these videos either. So surround yourself with people who are stronger than you. You can see like the guys in these pictures at one of my competitions. Get around guys who are stronger than you, who make you feel a bit insecure and a bit like you're not doing well enough, because it will make you level up and match their standards. The next one I've put here is to reduce friction. So you need to set your environment up in a way that makes it really easy to go to the gym. It makes it difficult to skip it. Just simple things like, if sometimes you go to work, you work your 9 to 5, and then after your shift, you go home and then you expect yourself to go back out to the gym. It's very unlikely that's going to happen. So a much better thing that you can do is just pack your gym bag the night before, take it to work with you. You eliminate that friction of driving home and then having to drag yourself off the sofa to go back to the gym. Just put that step in place to reduce the friction. Another one is caffeine use or pre-workout. So if you know that when you sit down at home or you get back from work, you're going to be tired and it's unlikely you're going to get back up to go to the gym, when you're sat at home just on the sofa, down your pre-workout. Like, it's going to make you so energetic and so jittery that you have no choice but to go to the gym. Same with your food environment as well. So I've put that here. If you are a guy who is cutting, you're trying to get leaner, Don't keep all these snacks and like really highly palatable foods in your food environment. Just don't buy them. Don't put them in the fridge. Don't put them in the cupboard and stuff like that. Delete Uber Eats and these other takeout apps from your phone. Like, put steps in place to make it harder to do it, because if it's in the cupboard, you're going to eat it. Like, just don't put it in the house. Don't buy it at all. And it's going to therefore make it far harder for you to make those bad decisions. The big one here, if I really want you to take one piece of advice, is just stop being around weak, negative people. Be around people who have higher standards than you and who are going to push you to train harder, hit PRs, and hold yourself accountable, okay? The next one is externals. So there is a concept called allostatic load. I researched this a lot during university. And essentially, it basically means that your body can't really differentiate between different forms of stress. So, for example, if you are a guy who has a high stress job, you have a stressful relationship, and then your training is really hard, all of this stress kind of fills the same cup. Your body can't really differentiate. It just sees these things as stress. So when they are all filling this same cup, something has to give. Like, if you have really high life stress and really high training stress, you are not going to adapt, recover from that training stress and get stronger, because your body can only deal with so much stress. So we have to manage these various stressors. An easy way to do it is with auto-regulation. So something like the RPE scale, and all of my training programs use this, where using the RPE scale allows you to adjust the weight on the bar based on each day. So if you go into the gym after a great night's sleep, low stress, you're feeling really good, you might be able to push it a little bit harder that day. But if you have a day where relationship stress was high, you barely slept, we scale it back a little bit. We want the dose of stress on each training day to match your physical preparedness. Too many of you guys are doing these intermediate programs that just tell you just grind every single day. And that's why you run into a brick wall. It's why you get injuries. And it's why you don't recover, adapt, and get stronger. You need to adjust the stress of your training program to match your performance potential on each day. Huge part of this is sleep. So you need to be sleeping 7 to 9 hours per night if you want to get as strong as possible, and that needs to be really, really regimented. A lot of you guys have terrible sleep habits, myself included, to be honest, but the best stretches of training I've had have been when I've been in bed for 8 hours per night. Like, this is going to have a huge impact on your performance in the gym, okay? And the final two, leisure and social life. So a lot of you guys don't do anything outside of the gym, and that's why your mental health is poor. It's why your mood is poor. And like we discussed in one of the previous slides, if mentally you are not strong, you are not going to be physically strong. You need to account time in your life for leisure activities, for going out, for doing stuff, to ensure you are in a good headspace so that you can actually facilitate training in the gym. Now, some pro tips, and I really want you to take these on board to close out this video. Thing number one, don't do what every other intermediate lifter does. Now, think about it. There are so many intermediates out there because they all do the same thing. You ask your average guy in the gym, like, what do you do for your training? And I do the calls every week with you guys. They follow the generic programs. They train really hard. They train to failure all the time. They do low frequency squat, bench, deadlift. They don't track their food. If you're noticing that all guys are doing these things, don't be like them. Do something else to what they're doing. You can go scroll on Reddit and see what the average guy in the gym who squats 3 plates, benches 2 plates, you can see what they're doing. Don't do what they're doing. Go see what the actual strong guys are doing. Go look at what powerlifters are doing. Like, go look at the top guys in powerlifting. Like, go look at Russell Orhe. Go look at Sean Noriega. Go look at Julius Maddox. Go look at all these guys training. You will see they're all basically doing the same shit. I've been coached by some of these guys. I speak with them. Like Swolfesser as well. Go look at his stuff. They are all doing the same thing. They're doing the things that I'm telling you to do in these videos. Do some of your training hard. Do the bulk of it lighter. Stop training to failure. Get on an individualized program. All these things they're doing, you're just choosing to do the things that all the intermediate guys are doing, the average guys, and that's why you're getting the average results. The second one, we went over this a lot. You cannot be strong. You cannot be physically strong if mentally weak. I have a full video coming on this, but I highly recommend that you put more time into your mental health. Get yourself a plan, a schedule, a daily checklist, and then do other things outside of the gym to facilitate good mental health. Meditate if you need to. Journal if you need to. Might sound cringe, but if these things put you in a good headspace and allow you to train better, recover better, who cares? You're going to get strong then. The final thing, and obviously I'm biased, but hire a coach as soon as possible. I have a master's degree in this stuff. I've coached hundreds of guys, if not thousands. I work around elite level powerlifters. I've been coached by one of the best powerlifters in the world. I still hired a coach because I realized the value of it. Once you start learning more and more about training and nutrition, you will come to a sudden realization that you don't know anything. There is so much stuff to know about this. And as guys, we are all so arrogant. You have so many of your own personal biases that hold you back. You just don't know things that you don't know. You need a second input on your training. Two brains working on your training is always going to be better than one. There's no point to do it alone. There's loads of good coaches out there. Go find one. Even if it's not me, just go find a good coach, and it's going to speed up the process 2 times over. So that is my apparently relaxation alarm to come on. I'm still going to carry on working, but if you need more help, so top link in the description, you can book a call with me. And what we'll do on the call is basically we will go over the current problems you're having with your training and nutrition. I will point out to you what needs work, what needs to change. We will then map out your goals. We'll design a plan going forward to see if I can actually help you to get to where you want to be. Then I will explain to you how my one-to-one coaching works. And just very quick summary, you will get individualized programming based on your individual needs. I write that 1 week at a time. You will get one-to-one nutrition coaching where I tell you whether to cut, whether to bulk, how much to eat, what to eat. I'll tell you what needs to be added into the diet. You will be in a community group with my other lifters who all push each other to get bigger, stronger, and do better outside of the gym. You will get technique coaching one-to-one with myself, and injury assessment with an injury specialist who is my assistant coach, and everything else you need to make progress. Direct mentorship from myself, a guy who's been in the exact same position that you're in right now. If you are not in a financial position to afford coaching right now, I have a free program right here that you can go and steal completely free of charge. Just go take it, use it, and I hope it helps you to get stronger. Any questions and comments, post them in the comment section down below. Make sure you subscribe to the channel for future uploads. And until next time, I'll catch you in the next video.